Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Friday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, traders. It's November 22nd, 2024. We're taking a look at SPY on the daily, and then we're going to go around the horn on the 65. We're going to keep this short and sweet. We just did the tech video for members, so I think tech has a little bit further to go, and we'll look on the Qs and SMH here for us here in this video. So you're definitely not left out, okay? And we're doing this intraday about 1:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in getting these videos intraday, then consider becoming a YouTube supporter member for 99 cents. Hey, join us in the Discord as well. It comes with any package. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and collapse this. Really, all I want to show on here was, we have some strength in the market underneath. That's mostly caused by IWM, and we're lagging on the Qs. But you notice that Tesla is holding things up, and that was a key point for us in the last week almost. A negative day in the VIX. So I do think things are barely holding on. We're going through this rotational phase, and I think we'll start to reverse on IWM first if this scenario kicks off. So let's jump into it. We have SPY on the daily time frame, getting that doji candle to follow through to it, close the gap. Now, if the Qs still have more to go, then could we do a double top? Could we get a brand new, just eke out a high here? It's possible, and that will all depend on the small caps and DIA. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at those on the 65, but I just want to show this first. We do have a nice lower high. We're into a downtrend resistance here, just a couple of cents off of the triangle top, if you want to consider this a triangle. And so I think we're about to hit that. We'll probably hit my alert here in a few minutes, maybe during the video. And so the important thing about the daily is that as a lower high, I suspect that we'll get a lower high and that we maybe get a wave 3, this being a 1, 2, wave 3, bounce 4 and 5 into the trend line up here. Now in the lower time frame, you'll kind of notice that this might look like it's maybe this all are 3-wave moves and this will be a leading diagonal. I don't know that, but this looks like a 3-wave move here on the 65, and I'll show you that in a second. And so if we get a lower high here, this still, if you're a bull, could be looked at as an A, a B, and a C. And then that would mean that this larger wedge, and we talked about this on the Qs as well, this larger wedge that's forming still has another high to go. And you look at this, if you look at this as a 5 or 3-wave move up, however you want to define this, I'm not going to do all that right now. And maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then still a 5-wave move out there. So that's what the bulls will look for. And the bears, which the camp I'm in, will look for this to be an impulse move, a correction, possibly up here to 585, and we'll map that all out if and when price gets down here, and we'll look for another drop to break the trend lines here. All right, let's go to 65, and then again, this video is going to be really short here. On the 65, you have this bearish rising wedge. We're getting right up into this zone here. So notice that we have good I'll actually duplicate this. Good support, resistance right there. And we're into that point, right? But we just have a few more cents, and I'll show you why that is. And after this move, the triangulation here, I think we might dip maybe into the end of the day. I don't know that. But I think that the Qs are going to continue a little bit higher, and we should look for this to collapse into next week. And just looking at the other board, you can see why this is an important area, because if you have a 1-2-1-2 setup, which I think is the case, we're taking the move here, that second wave 1, and we're getting a deep retracement into the 786, and we were 13 cents off of hitting that target, and I think that's what price is trying to do right now. And I don't need this downtrend line. We saw that in traditional, but that's what that would be. 1, 2, 1, 2. We continue lower. 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. We are getting a time and price relationship here today. So if we tag this in just a couple minutes here, if we tag this today, that's probably the high. And I think the Qs still could hold the market up and we get some sort of doji perhaps into Monday or so. But I think at that point, going on to turnaround Tuesday, that we could possibly see that reversal lower. And I know the big theme is that it's a holiday week and no volume and usually bullish. I do agree with that. But there are circumstances, especially I like to use the 2018 example. And why don't we look at that? So if we go back and put this longer time frame, go back to 2018. It's right here. I know we were already in a downtrend. There's an ABC move here, but in the end of December, you got a bounce here. And then towards the break, you got a big move down right into Christmas here. And in Christmas, the day before was, day after Christmas was the bottom. And then we saw a lift off after there. So just a huge move with no volume, right? I'm sure that's a situation that could be replicated. Again, with no volume, doesn't mean that the market has to go up. It just means that things can move really quickly with no volume. Okay, so we're starting to break out from this little triangle that we have here on the Qs. And so what I'm looking for is a gap fill here and then a reversal off of that. So it looks like we're sort of kind of breaking that area. And to get that gap fill and maybe go a little bit higher is the 786. And so we need some of the mega tech stocks to step up. And I think Tesla's the one. And I think we get some bounces in the other. And that's what we went over. So, this is still 4 points away, but I think we get this into Monday, all right, if we show some strength. Now, on the other hand, I don't think SMH is going to help us out much. So it could go for a deeper retracement here just to get a new high. That's possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if this still made lower highs and then a lower high here, just bouncing enough to allow the market to head a little bit higher. On IWM, this one is super important because we're getting into let me put on this board here, onto the big retracement here, the 786. Again, this looks like an impulse wave down, 5-wave move, and then we have an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going up here into 239, and we're just inches off of there. And so I think this one is likely to start heading to the downside and pulling SPY, preventing it to go higher while the Qs finish off its business. DIA, same concept. DIA really it already surpassed its 786. 887 is really deep, but hey, this one, I have it drawn out wrong. Maybe this is in the bottom. That's A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, but the 887 could be its final target right here, coinciding with all those as well. All right. So again, if this is, in this case, that deep of retracement, typically you'd have a flat pattern come out of it. So what if we're just getting a flat pattern and SPY in QQQ, since I already went through SPY, let's do daily time frame. On the Qs, maybe this is just an ABC. All right. And this, you see this huge wedge to the upside, possibly one last move to the upside. So we're not going to discount the fact that I'm not in that camp. Again, I think this is going to be an impulse wave. We'll see what it looks like when and if it happens. And then I think we get a nice bounce, maybe up to about the 500 area. And then we head lower. Okay, so that's my camp. But really, could this be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with this ending diagonal and some sort of channel there? It's possible. All right, so maybe it doesn't go as deep then there, and we will connect something like this, and we start looking for a bottom at some point, which, no, I think that would still end up being, yeah, that would still end up being a channel. I'll just leave this on right here. That coincides with the 200 moving average. So see how I connected these two tops? If that's a 1 and a top of a 3, it's very typical from the bottom here for your wave 4 and or even more bullish. Sorry. Even more bullish would be the bottom of wave 2 to 4. So if this holds right here, I'm going to leave it here for now. If it holds right around this 480 area and starts going higher and it looks like a 3-wave move, and there's a good possibility that there's still another high to go. We start making down our targets, 200 moving average. I think that's more the case. And then I think that's where we're looking for a good bounce. And the bulls would get in there too and say, you know, we got a whole nother high to go. And then we break down from there. So for the VIX is holding on tight to that 200 moving average now. So we're getting really near, in my opinion, the market top and holding that 200 average. Okay, and then at this point, we could spike through. And if by the end of today or into Monday, we get down to these lows at the 15, I think that's more, excuse me, frog went through. I think that's more of the spot we get at. So I'm going to end it here, and we'll get this video out